Afro commie's out here on his grind. Neighborhood scumbag, but he's one of a kind. Oh, casual conversation takes the day. With some Afro commie, we laugh and play. Ebony Moonbeam strikes a pose so mean. Cosplay queen, she's ruling the scene. Some shrugs, he's got no side, just watching waves like a lazy tide. Afro commie seems a low-key wild, but he's got charm, it's his freestyle. Oh, casual conversation takes the day. With some Afro commie, we laugh and play. Ebony Moonbeam strikes a pose so mean. Cosplay queen, she's ruling the scene. Ebony Moonbeam with a wig so bright. Wielding her magic, she's a star tonight. Zelme just yawns, he's still unsure. Afro commie laughs, he's got that allure. Oh, casual conversation takes the day. With some Afro commie, we laugh and play. Ebony Moonbeam strikes a pose so mean. Cosplay queen, she's ruling the scene. Ebony Moonbeam with her wig so bright. Ebony Moonbeam with her wig so bright. Wielding her magic, she's a star tonight. Zelme just yawns, he's still unsure. Afro commie laughs, he's got that allure. Oh, casual conversation takes the day. With some Afro commie, we laugh and play. As Ebony Moonbeam strikes a pose so mean. Cause the queen, she's ruling the scene. Conversation takes the day. With some Afro commie, we laugh and play. As Ebony Moonbeam strikes a pose so mean. Cause the queen, she's ruling the scene. Ebony Moonbeam with her wig so bright. With her wig so bright. Wielding her magic, she's a star tonight. Zelme just yawns, he's still unsure. Afro commie laughs, he's got that allure.
I just edited it wrong. But it's your boy Laughers. I'm looking cute, looking clean, looking sexy. And of course, this is the Freakasode, the Diddy episode where we talk about Diddy getting not guilty on the 3 main charges and guilty on the lesser 2 charges. Of course, I am joined with a beautiful lady beside me. It is the
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's your girl, Ebony Moonbeam. It's your girl, Ebony Moonbeam. You can find me at Ebony_Moonbeam on all social media platforms. I'm a cosplayer, anime shit talker, real life shit talker, debaucherous whore. You know the rest. You can find me on Saturdays at the Make It Make Sense the podcast YouTube channel, and you can also find me on Sundays at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, 5 p.m. Pacific Time for your favorite female Blair-led podcast, Waifu Views. It gives you everything fandom with a side of waifu. And I am not currently streaming to any of my platforms. And, you know, I feel some type of way about that. I'm deciding if I'm staying for the show. Y'all may say that that's ridiculous. But when I spend an hour plus in front of a camera, it needs to be seen by my peoples. You feel me? So we gonna see. I'm really sitting here debating. I almost clicked the leave button during the intro, and I was like, let's try this, and a bitch is tired. Okay, just opened up a new location for my job. I am tired. Okay, I'm out of marijuana, which I am legal to have, but I'm out. Yep, I feel some type of way about that. I don't know if I have the capacity to stay, but I love you guys, and if I disappear, you know, I'll be here next Thursday. Okay. Love you. Show tomorrow, 8 p.m. Waifu Views. Sorry, not tomorrow, Sunday. Because today's whatever. Anyways, yeah.
She's tired, bro. She's
y'all just don't understand.
Well, if she do stay, she will have a recording on her channel until we figure this new setup out. But we also have the legend himself, the Afro Coming 765.
Oh, he froze for a second. I was like, oh, time to end the show.
No. I am your local neighborhood scumbag here to the folks of Mr. saying, give me a different day, all gas, no birds, cold hard hot takes, and everything that comes with it. Here to welcome you to the freak extravaganza episode of Casual Conversation. The Diddler has beat the rap, folks. Kid Cudi should be heading for the hills immediately, and we're going to talk about it. Oh, yeah, brother.
He became the whole macho man. But as you can see, we got merch, casual conversation merch, actually out right now. I was doing it tomorrow, but it counts right now. So you can get casual conversation merch and the Keep It 99 merch. So make sure you go.
We don't have mine right here, but I will say buy the merch.
Yeah, and this is very hot, so it might not stay on long. I got to
I was gonna say this nigga is fucking.
Yeah, it's great merch. And if you like being warm,
that's dedication.
go and get that bad boy.
It's hot.
But I live in Florida, so you'll see that on my body in a couple of months. But that bucket hat, I'm about to have that right now.
It is
right now.
This shout out to Bucket. I love the Bucket. This hoodie is hot as hell. Shout out to the thickness of this hoodie. But of course, as you heard, we have a case, and it
beats a rap, folks.
The DK. I want you bigger. Where you at? Oh, no.
Johnson & Johnson's up tremendously.
Yes. As you can see, the breakdown of the charges: Combs guilty on 2 charges, acquitted on racketeering after 7 weeks of sometimes graphic and emotional testimony.
Being a freaky nigga isn't being a crime boss, folks.
In Sean Diddy Combs' sex trafficking case, jurors found the music mogul guilty of 2 prostitution-related counts, but acquitted him on more serious counts, including the racketeering charge. As you can see, racketeering, conspiracy, maximum sentence of life in prison, not guilty. Sex trafficking by force, fraud, and coercion, maximum sentence of life in prison, not guilty. Transportation for purpose of prostitution, maximum of 10 years, guilty.
And he's not getting the max, folks.
Sex trafficking by force, fraud, or coercion, maximum sentence of life in prison, not guilty. The second case of transportation for purposes of prostitution is guilty. How we feeling about the charges? Do you feel like they got it wrong, got it right? Did they overstep their bounds? Did we miss something? Did the prosecutors just not do a good job? What is it? Y'all let us know.
Talk to him, Moonbeam, since we've actually still got you here.
Yeah, and I know you're gonna go forever, and then you're probably gonna say what I'm gonna say anyway. So it's like, I'm gonna be real. Could Diddy be Dr. Doom for real? Like a whole super villain? Absolutely. If like that, I can believe that or whatever. But I am also like, we're in the legal system. The legal system came to the conclusion that he's only guilty for transportation for Jane and Cassie, which we all know was happening, and I think they got that right. Traffic, the racketeering and the trafficking, I just didn't personally feel like there was enough evidence for that. I think that's why they went so hard on, establishing people's views on Diddy by going so deep into his sexual antics and all of this stuff like that. But at the end of the day, like, do I believe that, like, if someone told me he was a sex trafficker, I would not be surprised. But
you gotta be able to prove it.
But you gotta be able to prove it. And since they couldn't prove it, like, I'm gonna just say I feel like they got it right. Because based off of the information I've seen, there's not enough information to like, I just feel like he a freaky ass nigga and people be signing on to be freaky ass motherfuckers with him or whatever. And then it turns into a power, it turns into control and all of that stuff, and it gets out of hand. But I still feel like at least I feel like for the most part, I don't know. I feel like he's staying to himself. He's freaky with the other freaks. He paying for other freaks to come freak with him. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think he's going out of the country and being like threatening people and take. I don't know, but there just wasn't enough evidence. So I agree with the findings or whatever. The judgment.
Listen, that man do like 1,000 little crimes. Some of them he be beating people with dumbbells hanging while they off the roof.
Nah, if this was like, if he was being charged for like connection in certain murders or stuff like that, then you may get a different answer out of it.
Yeah,
but for the sex trafficking, I just.
Look, this is unfortunately or fortunately, this is exactly what I thought was going to happen. the prosecutors got themselves all in a tizzy. I feel like, okay, this is the second ball we've seen a government prosecutor drop in regards to a RICO. I almost called it a FRICO. Fucking a RICO against famous black men. We went for the RICO with Young Thug. He sat in jail for all those years, but in the end, fucking, he ended up pleading out and avoiding the life sentence. We get to Diddy, and the prosecutors were just, listen, is Diddy a freaky ass nigga? Yes. Is he a domestic abuser? Also, yes. Is he probably just a bad human being in general? Yes. Do all of these things together mean that he was running and influencing a criminal organization? No. And that's the thing. A RICO is racketeering and influencing a criminal organization. If the man, and if we look at it, it looks like this nigga spent way more money on freak-offs than he ever could have made from them. He wasn't doing this for profit. He wasn't doing this to make money. Therefore, it can't be racketeering. Therefore, you can't charge him with a RICO. It's just, they jumped the gun in the worst way possible, yo. And freaking, they tried to play it up on the character assassination attempt. And look, they got headshots. No one is ever going to look at Diddy the same. No ifs, ands, or buts about that. Fucking, whenever you see that nigga, you're going to see a freaky ass nigga that likes to have other men's semen rubbed on his nipples. And he likes to lick that off of his partner's back. Like, I mean, that's what we're always going to think about at the end. Is that nigga's a freaky ass nigga. But he wasn't out here fucking Al Capone and shit, yo. That just wasn't the case. But look, I do want to say, Kid Cudi, if you hear this, you need to hide, brother. You need to hide your dog too. Look, you can't drive cars anymore, okay? You have to exclusively become a bicycle guy now. You can't ride anything that could be fucking sabotaged because Diddy gonna fuck you up, cuz allegedly, possibly. Like, look, if Diddy takes all the money that he's finna make off of all of his new freaky endeavors, he could have a lubed up Iron Man suit outside of Kid Cudi's house to butt fucking before we know it. Like,
what?
I'm just saying, if I were Kid Cudi, I would be very, very afraid, yo.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I am a little.
Think about it. This nigga blew up his car and allegedly fucked his dog.
Oh my goodness!
Come on, any nigga that's willing to blow up your car and fuck your dog, you think he's not gonna fuck you up when you showed up with a fucking wrinkled collar and a white shirt with a leather jacket, smoking a cigarette to snitch on him? You think he's not finna spin the block on your sweet ass? Please, Kid Cudi, hide. Please. Just run, brother. Because the diddler on the roof, brother. The diddler on the roof, and he got a crazy ass lubed up sniper rifle, and one of the bullets have your name on it. Allegedly. Possibly. Frequently. He's gonna rack up the frequent flyer miles to come to you, Kid Cudi. And Cassie, look, you better not start sneak seeing this nigga again on the low, okay? Because that shit y'all be doing. I'm gonna call it now. Within the next year, we'll see a picture of Diddy and Cassie together somewhere. I'm calling it now. Because once a freaky nigga, always a freaky nigga. And listen, one things that all of the testimony and all of the court doctors have proven to me, yo, Cassie a freaky ass nigga too. Ain't no if. Look, the 2 prostitution charges that freaking Diddy's getting hit with, yo, I've watched multiple interviews of these prostitutes saying it was Cassie that picked them out. It was Cassie that set up the deal. Yes, it was Diddy that paid for it, but Cassie was the one picking the niggas that were gonna blow her back at. So, like, I'm just saying. And of course, she probably got immunity because she testified. Although whether that immunity stands now or not, since they didn't get him on the RICO, I don't know. But the two charges that he caught could just have easily been 2 charges that she should catch. If we're going by the letter of the law, yeah, she's just as guilty of facilitating prostitution as he is.
Mm-hmm.
But That's neither here nor there. She made her 30 million. Get to the bag, sister. You did that. The nigga had to pay you in the end. Fucking, he may not go to prison forever, but that nigga had to pay you a pretty fucking penny. And you, 30 million is generational wealth, yo. So I mean, good for her. But I really just want to, if anything happens to Kid Cudi, that nigga can't. We can't say nothing, cause like I don't want the goddamn baby oil slip and slide set up in front of my house. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to have the diddler on the roof glide in, fucking smelling like Astro Glide and regret, fucking trying to take my ass because we said something bad on the internet. So listen, if Kid Cudi makes it, more power to him. But like,
oh Jesus Christ,
listen,
like if he makes it, like
if he makes it, yo, the diddler is coming home. The diddler is returning.
Well, yeah, because he may get time served, right?
Yeah, bro.
We're gonna bring this up in a minute, but
they might have denied the bond, but no one. Look, the maximum sentences are not the standard. Fucking the maximums are the exceptions. Maximums are when you are the worst of the worst, and I can't give you anything else. Fucking, I give you the max that I can. Now, does the judge dislike Diddy? Yes. Do I think the judge dislikes Diddy enough to hit him with a max? I don't. I really don't. Not without fucking having his whole career. Because as soon as he does that, how long is it before the media runs with the judge was spiteful? You know what I mean? The judge,
well, if the media don't like him, the media don't like Diddy.
Well, no, I'm just saying. Me personally, I don't think Diddy's going to get the max on any of these charges. I'll be surprised if he gets the fucking minimum. I think there's a very good chance that he ends up fucking with time served, and the nigga walks, probably on probation for a couple of years. But he's going to be freaking off. That's for damn sure. He's going to be freaking off all over the goddamn world. And man, I hope I get invited to one of the consensual freak offs, yo. I don't want to go to the gnarly, nasty, illegal freak offs, brother. But let me tell you, look, I'm gonna take off my glasses.
Conversations take off, and no other show we do take off. You know why?
Look, if you have the consensual, above board, wholly protected, fucking freak off, get at your boy, okay?
We get a casual conversation. Be the only show on Revolt.
Hey, we be on Revolt, nigga. We got to be on Revolt before you know it, nigga. Let me get on let me get an illegal freak off and fucking start to mingle and mangle, bingle and bangle. You know what the fuck I'm saying? And see where we can get cracking. You dig? But that's beside the point. I do want to say, shout out to the fucking prosecution for putting on one of the most entertaining court cases that we've seen in a coon's age, yo. I had so much fun watching the fucking Diddy trial. It was, even though there were no cameras in the courtroom, just reading the court transcripts week to week, talking about it on shows week to week, yeah. I've had so much, and that's fucked up, and you can clip it and make it. Listen, it is what it is. I've thoroughly enjoyed covering the Diddy trial. It has been hilarious. It is. I will think back to fucking things that have been said during these court cases that will probably never ever be said in a serious sentence ever again.
True.
And fucking be like, damn, we were. And the beautiful thing is, we've got weeks and weeks of content to look back on once we're all old and gray and be like, damn, y'all remember when they caught the diddler for liking to lick nut off of his bitch's back and tried to fucking send him down on a freako because of it? I mean, come on. We've gotten some gems from the Diddy trial, yo. We really have. Look, Ricos will never not be known as Fricos low key now. Fucking, I'll never look at baby oil the same.
I don't know if that's.
I'll never look at baby oil the same again. Anytime there's a sexual orientation in a freak off, yo, it's gonna be in a freak off. In a Rico, it's gonna be a freak off. But I look, they're just tad bits of internet culture that have spawned from this that will be here for years and decades to come.
Yeah, I don't disagree.
But it is something I want to also
And this
touch on
nigga's gonna
because a
drop
lot
the
of people,
Diddy is, I'm calling that down too. As soon as Diddy touches down, we're gonna get the Diddler first day out. It's gonna happen. The first day out on the Diddler. And what if it's a slapper? It could be a fucking slapper. That's all I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
If Diddy comes out of this and starts making some of the best music of his career, I don't know what I'm gonna do, but it'll be fun to talk about.
99% of Diddy music been trash, but
It's been garbage. Yo, Diddy doesn't have good songs, yo. Like Diddy has okay features.
Yeah, I was gonna say I like his features. Like his feature with Christina Aguilera. I like his feature with fucking Keisha
He
Cole.
can do some freaky ass features, but a nigga, the music ain't it. But this
was my shit.
Trials and tribulations, brother. This could have got the creative juices flowing. Because we know he got some juices flowing while he was in the pen, allegedly. But I know
you don't want me to.
But we got to look at the positive. We got to look at the positives of this. Meek Mill is probably extremely happy. Fucking Usher is ecstatic. Justin Bieber, you need to go hide. Justin Bieber, you got to go hide again too. I completely forgot about you. You and Kid Cudi need to link up. Together.
And Justin already going through it. He looked like. So
Justin, please.
Somebody go check on Justin for real.
Because the Diddler is gonna come a calling, and he's gonna. I'm talking about Diddy like he's the fucking Grim Reaper, but goddamn,
that's why I'm like, if he does want to take like revenge on anybody, it's gonna be crazy.
I mean, he got the money. He got the connections.
That's why I was like, it's gonna be crazy. And he's already done crazy shit.
He blew up a man's car and allegedly had
and this nigga just got away basically with
he got found not guilty of that shit.
Oh yeah, his ego is like right here, right now. I'm sure.
Listen, any nigga that is out here fucking on niggas' dogs for revenge, what the fuck you think you finna do when he gets home? He was fucking niggas' dogs before he went to prison.
By the way, viewers, that is alleged. Kid Cudi said that after that experience where they were pretty sure Diddy was in there, the dog was never the same. And he kind of implied that Diddy did more than kick him away.
Diddy might have done something to his dog. The dog might have got diddled, folks.
That's so gross.
But look, he's a nasty nigga.
Or maybe Diddy got diddled.
Yeah, maybe Diddy. Yeah. But I'm saying,
I'm so sorry. I take that back. I didn't mean that.
Yeah, look at her.
I have a mild form of Tourette's when I'm not properly on my bipolar medication. Sorry, I did not mean that.
Listen, I can't look. Either way, I think at most.
You think Diddy ain't gonna come from some of the podcasts that have talked about him?
Oh, brother. Y'all niggas think he ain't finna
start. I didn't say that. Never mind.
Because look, this nigga,
never mind.
I'm willing to bet at most, and I believe this wholeheartedly, at most, and I mean at the top of the scale, Diddy does 5 years in jail. Maybe. Which in the grand scheme of things, ain't that fucking long, brother.
No.
5 years go by real fucking quick.
I don't see him. I don't see him.
And he's not going broke. And he's not going broke. And all of his kids beat the charges. So all of the fucking, this nigga gonna be all right. Like, Diddy is not destitute. Diddy is not broke. Diddy is not fucking, Diddy gonna be all right. And it could be a scary time out here for niggas.
Mm-hmm.
But
we'll bring up that time a little bit later. But I do want to go over one thing with us. For us, a lot of people that think if you fly your girl out, you will. Is that wrong? No, this is the Mann Act, which Diddy was actually convicted of, Combs was convicted of flying people around the country, including his girlfriend, and paid male sex workers to engage in sexual encounters, which is a violation of the Federal Mann Act. The 1910 law originally prohibited the interstate of foreign commerce, transfer of a woman or girl for prostitution or debauchery, or for any other immoral purpose. A 1986 update made the law gender neutral and effectively ended the act's role in trying to legislate morality by changing debauchery and immoral purpose to any sexual activity for which a person can be charged for a sexual offense. Meaning, if you openly admit you pay $100 for a person to come and have sex with you and you fly them out, that is a crime. However, if you just fly somebody out, that is not a crime.
Yeah.
If it leads to what it leads to, it is not a crime. But if you like, yo, I'm paying you $100 to fly you out and have sex, that is a difference than just flying somebody out, paying for stuff, and then getting sex. As it said in the law, with an intent to do. Which is hard to prove unless you have text messages. Which
exactly. Intent is always one of the hardest things to prove.
But they had text messages, so that's why I knew he was going to get this charge. Yeah. I was like, yo, this is the only
one. But
look,
in the end, like I said, those are the charges that you could have charged fucking Jada and Cassie for. They were the ones picking out the niggas that were going to fuck them. Diddy just foot the bill.
Which is the legal part.
And he,
so that's the legal part.
Well, I mean, they're the ones that established.
Couldn't he sue them? Couldn't he sue them?
Yeah, but the legal
I mean,
part,
I guess he could, but I don't know.
The legal part is paying for it. That's the legal part. You can choose somebody to fly out.
But I mean, they did the transaction. It was just with Diddy's money.
That's the legal part.
Yeah, no, but I'm saying the transaction.
So I can't buy hookers with my sugar daddy. I can't buy hookers with my sugar daddy's card.
Yeah, that's basically what she did.
Afro, if I like, yo, I'm finna send some hoes to you, and I'm gonna pay for them to go out there, and I'm gonna pay them to fuck you. I'm going to jail, not you, even if you pick them up.
Well, either way, I'm gonna be like listen,
I'm just saying, if I pay for them to fuck you, that hits me, Afro. Like, okay, they gonna hit the overall.
No, Rico case, brother. I promise, we're gonna beat that case. They ain't getting to somebody like that, yo.
Yeah, so that's why I say it's different from just flying a girl out. Like I said, if I fly somebody out to have sex with Afro, that is a crime, and I'm charged with it, not him, because he just had somebody float up.
I don't know though. Fucking, if I'm fucking,
it's okay. You would never have to pay Afro, so we're never gonna have to worry about that. Oh goodness!
I ain't paying.
But you do not have to pay him. We've had that discussion on this show.
I can't look. I would, like I said, I wouldn't let you. I'm like, nigga, we ain't paying for no hoes. That's crazy. That's tricking, brother. Legitimately, I'm a lot of fucking things. I ain't a fucking trick.
Wait, we have outside news of the courthouse.
What the fuck, yo? You're a fucking mess. What the fuck, yo? Y'all are fucking wildin'. Armand. Look. All right. Armand is a fucking mess.
Niggas outside oiling up in front of the.
Let me tell you. If I found out that man had been to a Diddy party, I would not be surprised.
So listen, point back on a grown man with her shirt off in front of us. In front of the courthouse.
I'm judging.
She got all oiled up. She got all oiled up and then took her wig off.
Oh, we do.
Yeah, that's not the video.
All right, we can't shoot.
I want some baby oil.
But then we're out here chatting.
Can I tell you, I hate the world. I do.
Listen, the The cult of baby oil is
And what's funny
inbound, folks.
is that shit cracked me up enough to like send it to y'all, but I refused to share it because I was like, I'm not gonna share my people looking like this.
Oh,
Doing this shit. I'm not. It could not go on my page. I was like, no.
What? So I should share it and then tag you. I'm gonna do that after we're done. That way.
Yeah, but I still have to approve it to go on my page.
Oh, you don't be. Come on. Look, this is a time in history.
I shut that shit down when I was in like right before I went to college. I started doing that like very early in my Facebook days. The minute I figured that out, I was like, try and post an ugly picture of me on my timeline if you want to. Shit pop up. I'm like, hi.
Oh, I don't think there's a such thing.
You'd be surprised.
Wow.
You would be surprised. Not much these days. But there was
the cult of baby oil is coming, folks. They're coming all over the place.
That's all I gotta say on that is broken people love broken people. That's what like. So
freaky niggas love freaky niggas.
Yeah,
yo.
Listen, if you go outside, you
freaky
love
niggas are like moths to a flame, and fucking Diddy is the freakiest flame there is. That nigga is, yo.
If you tell me you in the streets getting baby oil poured on you, you probably isn't.
If he plays this right,
yeah.
That nigga understands. He understands the freaky consequences that come with the diddler. He's trying to warn you about the cult of baby oil. She? Of course. The bitch was trying to warn you. What? She's a bitch.
She is.
I
call one multiple times a day. And she is a fucking brat.
But no, look, if Diddy plays his cards right, yo, this nigga, he can be bigger now than he ever was. Like, whether we want to acknowledge it, whether we want to acknowledge it or not, yo, negativity thrives in this day and age, yo.
Oh yeah,
negativity thrives and prospers to the fucking utmost in this day and age.
I think attention-wise, money-wise is hard to do.
Nah, but he's got the money already, though.
Yeah, he ain't gonna get no more. He's talking about attention-wise, probably.
He's got the money already.
Get money. That man can get like a whole sponsor from like OnlyFans.
Well, that nigga still got
make
stocks
some money.
Baby
oil, lube.
No, he
can literally just go into the sex.
If he's smart, he drops his own baby oil.
Yeah, baby oil, but not just baby oil. Get into the sex toys industry. Get into that. Get into the sex industry. He'll make it. People will buy like Diddy dildos. People, that will be a thing. Send me a check, Diddy. I said it first, but hey.
The dildos
and Diddy dildos casual conversation chick is
hey. I don't know what Diddy is packing, but if it's sizable, I'd buy it. I'd show it to you on the show. I'd be like, look at my
hold on, wait, let's get innovative here. What if he came up with a self-lubricating dildo?
They're like little holes.
Yeah, look, the wheels turning in her head. Yeah. That saves a lot of trouble. Tell me when I'm telling lies.
Especially when it comes to the ass. So yeah, I think you're on to something there. I think you're on to something. Why hasn't that been made? Everyone that has a brain knows that lube is necessary for anal. So at least it should be necessary.
Yo, shout out to one girl in my life to let me fuck her anally dry. That shit is crazy. Fucking.
Shut up.
She's a trooper.
Shut the fuck up. Like you saw I was about to roll out. I was like, what you doing?
But I'm talking about. But I'm saying, if any of the people if any of you sex toy makers out there, if you try to put a fucking self-lubricating marital aid to market, cut your boy a check.
Right, and then name it the Diddy dildo and send
The
me
dirty did it.
It don't
The
even
dirty
gotta
did
be
was.
that big. In the grand scheme of things, y'all gonna
No,
make
you
money.
just gotta look and no. Listen, then you just call it the diddler. That's all you do. You just call it the diddler.
Yeah,
Bam.
I'd buy it.
Marketing.
I'm a sucker for merch, people. I don't want y'all to think that like I want a dildo of someone that may or may not have been trafficking women, but I am a fan of merchandise. Like I'm the type of person that will see something cool from Star Trek and be like, I'm not even a Trekkie, but I want this type shit.
I respect it too.
Like
I
I'm the type of person
saying,
that like, oh, there's a Diddy like dildo. Oh, I gotta have that just because it's like it's a Diddy dildo. You get it? Like
collector's item.
Like if they said, like if someone said, this is a dildo that we imagined Goku would have, I'd be like, let me see it. Bring it here.
Let me talk to you, bro.
Do you have a Vegeta? Because I know he's a short king, but I believe
this is why Vince McMahon was naming all the dildos after wrestlers, yo, because he's gonna put them to market eventually.
Right. Because let me tell you, back in if I was a little bit, because I was still young. If I was a little bit older, like if I was my brother's age when wrestling came out, let me tell you, I would have had a Triple H. I would have had an Undertaker. I would have had a HBK. Like I would have had a couple.
And that is why Moonbeam is my freaky content twin flame, yo. She gets it. Freaky shit sells, folks.
Freaky shit sells. When I tell you, I sent these two niggas because they're in a group chat with me outside of the one that we do for the show. I sent them once. I was in Spencer's, roaming around, came across a tentacle dildo, and I was like, "Yo!" And I sent it to them. There's like 6 other men in that group chat and shit, and I was like, "But
like, goddamn."
Monte
cool. Still never recovered.
And Tommy needs to see this. Tommy needs to see how cool this is. I actually haven't purchased that, but I got paid already, so maybe this weekend to something out.
Treat yourself, sister. You've been working hard.
Have you seen the clip from that show for the show where it's like treat yourself?
No.
It's so funny. Okay, I'll send it to you later when I find it. But yeah, okay, let's continue because you know.
Look, I'm saying you're hanging in there though. I'm proud of it.
I know.
We got a little more before we get off. Defense lawyer argued for Combs to be released on bail. This is the bail charge. What they argue. Their defense submission to the judge says their calculated of sentence guidelines would call for about 2 years in prison. They argued against the prosecutor's assertion this morning that Combs is a flight risk or a danger to the community. And they said Combs has missed some big moments in the lives of his children while behind bars since September arrest. They said he has missed the high school graduation of his twin daughters, who didn't have a parent with them because their mother, Kim Porter, died in 2018. Yeah. And they said he has been separated from his 2-year-old daughter and needs and wants to be and remain with his family. Prosecutors argue against bail, citing crimes of violence. The letter to the judge says their calculation based on federal sentencing guidelines call for roughly 4 to 5 years in prison. And they will suggest in writing before his sentences may be higher still. Because they contend fraud and coercion was involved, they are also arguing Combs was convicted of crimes of violence and therefore should be freed prior to sentencing only if the judge finds a clear and convincing evidence that he won't flee or pose danger. Prosecutors say detention is mandatory in these circumstances. They could not find a case in which the defendant was released from custody for such a conviction. They also said Combs remained a danger to the community because 3 months before his arrest and while he was aware he was under investigation, he brutally assaulted a woman who testified in his trial under the pseudonym Jane, and they say he was in possession of materials for a freak-out sex event when he was in New York hotel in September. Judge did set the bail as we saw. Combs expressed confidence. We also got a little bit of a history of the Federal Mann Act that we're going to quickly go over, then we're going to start getting out of here. The Federal Mann Act used against Combs an anti-sex trafficking law with a controversial century-old history. Over the years, 1910, originally known as the White Slave Traffic Act, has been applied to prominent convictions, including R. Kelly, Ghislaine Maxwell and Chuck Berry, and more than a century ago, boxer Jack Jackson, the first black world heavyweight champion, was convicted in an all-white jury for traveling with his white girlfriend. Prosecutors used it as an interracial couple. Eventually, many others consensual relationship, according to Cornell Law Institute. But they used it. But that tell you law don't care about stuff.
Yeah. Y'all stop saying racism's not real. Segregation ain't even been over for 100 years yet.
Okay, let's listen to this. Is the last thing I want to talk about because I wanted to get to it. Combs could be sentenced to 10 years in prison, but he likely won't. While the law allows for a sentence up to 10 years in prison, the lawyer in the case have said in court filing the guidelines suggest a sentence that will fall well short of it. The defense suggests as little as 21 months minus what Combs has already served. Prosecutors suggested a little more than 5 years, though they caution they haven't fully evaluated the connections yet. And we got one. I said one more, but that wasn't the one I wanted. Where's the one I wanted?
He's still getting used to the
Okay, here you go. Kimberly Mellon Orzacco, who holds a PhD in criminology law and society, and serves as a human trafficking expert, witness in criminal and civil court, said on Wednesday that the sex trafficking charges didn't stick because Combs did not engage in sex trafficking. Prosecutors argued that he controlled these women by buying them houses and expensive things. But Melvin Kozo said that the polar opposite of what traffickers typically do. Traffickers will deprive you of things and take your money, she said. Kozo also said that prosecutors weren't able to charge him with assault-related crimes because the statute of limitations. So that's why people like, why they didn't charge him with domestic violence? It's a statute of limitations.
The statute of limitations was up.
Yeah. And she said that is a problem.
We knew that when she was suing him civilly for it. We knew then.
We now have seen on an international stage that what happened when we don't have long enough statutes of limitation. So she's arguing that you could have used the beatings as thing, but you couldn't use them in court because there's past the statute of limitation. So you couldn't really bring them up. That's why they couldn't bring up the charges, and that's why they try to show people before. That's why they leaked the video. They put it out there. They leaked the video before, but they couldn't show it. So if the jury see it before, they can have eyesight on it. So, but
I do want to shout out to the jury in this. They were very inquisitive. Like if you see some of the juror notes that were to the prosecutor and the judge, like they were asking pointed questions. Like it feels like, at least to me, that this jury really did do its due diligence. They didn't get. It doesn't feel like they got swept up in the shock tactics and the fucking outside the court treatment and the media. It feels like they actually stuck to it, and like that is a comforting thing to me in a way, to see that there is a jury out there that is not going to get fucking roped up in the glitz and glamour of a high profile case, and they're going to call it down the middle like they should.
Listen, racketeering he was not going to get. Sex trafficking with Jane Doe he was not going to get. Cassie case, I believe that was iffy because they did the last question they asked before they came back with the first one was 2 questions about Cassie, and that was about when he said, "If you don't do this freak off, I'll kill you" and stuff like that, and then $20,000 to the mom. They asked those 2 questions so they could decide. So I think that one was iffy, but they was gonna get the first 2 charges. That's the ones they wanted to secure, that they somehow get a win to keep their rate. They somehow won some part of it. They lost the racketeering, but they still gonna. It's gonna go on that 99% that he got convicted on something. That's what they usually do. They give you 2 lesser crimes because they didn't care about him being crime. That's why they didn't even argue. But my thing is, I think they're gonna try to convince the judge to do 6 years apiece, which I said 12, which is gonna probably lower it to 6 at the end of the day. But
I don't think the 6 maybe he gets 3 apiece on him and does 6 in the end. I just don't see him. But I don't see him doing more than 10 years. I really don't.
I think what they're gonna try to do. Listen, I'm not a lawyer. I did do business law.
Yeah, no one here is past the bar.
But I think they are going to try to hit him. I think they're going to try to hit him with all the silver cases that he got and tell them people he's violent. And then he's a danger, so he need to be as much time as he can because he might do violence to the other people because he does have a tendency
Run and hide, Kid Cudi. Run and hide.
He hit a college football coach with a dumbbell because he didn't play his son. He
did crack that nigga. He did crack that nigga with the dumbbell.
He has a history of being insane. He has many court cases to prove that he lost. That he is fucking insane, including the casting one. Like he has lost many civil court cases because he's
Diddy niggas when niggas shoot Diddy, they be winning.
That's what I'm saying, and they all relate to violence because he's.
Yeah, I was gonna say he do be tweaking on niggas.
So I'm saying, so if that my thought is they're gonna convince him that he's violent, and he's probably gonna get 6 apiece, and then he's gonna get off for like 6 or 7 and for good behavior. That's my prediction.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I definitely.
I think they'll charge him.
I don't think he's gonna get 10 or more. I think the max will probably be like 5.
I think he'll get probably a year off for how long he sat in jail. So, like I said, I think he'll do 5 years when it's all said and done.
I think he'll do that.
I think 5 years is the high end. If he does more, good for them. Because, like I said, we're not arguing. We know Diddy's a bad person.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? At least in my opinion.
No,
I'm not but a humble scumbag.
Diddy is an awful human being. We've been on it for years, but we celebrate. I don't know.
I was gonna say we've been talking about how bad Diddy was long before this trial, and we got the content to prove it. We've been talking about. We talked about Diddy being fucking crazy and doing ridiculous shit. Remember when he smacked up the nigga from the Fox show with Lucian Lyon, Empire? When he smacked up the nigga from Empire while he was dressed as the fucking Joker on Halloween?
Mm-hmm.
Come on.
Yep. While they said it didn't happen, but allegedly while they got hung outside the room.
Yeah, I was gonna say allegedly while
they said it didn't happen, but as a man, I wouldn't tell nobody I got hung outside the room.
Meek Mill got bent over and his back blown out.
I don't know if that's true.
Allegedly.
I don't know.
Usher, allegedly. And now we know the fucking Diddy got the herpes, because he gave it to Cassie. We found that out during this court proceeding too. So, I
did want to talk about one thing that I did want to make
figure out why he was making that face. It was almost like I don't know. We found out that. That's how I was looking at him like that.
Yeah, they testified and talked about it in the court.
No, I remember.
Which is kind of fucked up because it goes back to that old rumor that Usher has herpes, remember? Allegedly. That makes a lot of sense, though.
Yeah. But I did want to say this. I know a lot of people be like, I do want to say this to be responsible.
Sprinkle the allegedlys all throughout this, though. Allegedly.
No, I just want to say this to be responsible. Listen. I know a lot of people like, why don't you just leave to women that be abused? I'm like, listen, if you ain't never seen an abused woman who somehow just feel like they love a dude, you ain't been
or
around
just
that
so scared that they don't.
They really don't have anywhere to go in the end.
Yo, listen, if you give a 17-year-old $100 million, not everybody $17-year-old $100 million lifestyle.
You know what? Everyone does have Google, and it's a free service engine. And I'm sure you can go and research like Stockholm syndrome, like all different types of things that domestic violence victims go through and suffer, different testimonials on what they went through, how they felt, why they got out, why they finally got out, how they finally got out, if they never got out, how many times they attempted to get out or whatever, and it just didn't work or they got caught. So.
And if you give a 17-year-old $800 million lifestyle their whole life, and then the threat of them taking it away and going to their mama for a month and be like, "Oh shit, I am broke," your mindset kind of be like, "Oh shit." I just want people to listen. A lot of people
and even if it wasn't about all the things that she was going to lose
allegedly,
even if it's not that. You can still think, okay, this man has supported an $800 million lifestyle for me this whole time. And this man has power and money.
And what did she say?
Like, I don't give a fuck if I'm broke, but this man has so much money that he can find me.
Hold on,
let's blew up Kid Cudi's car over this.
Let's see what she's saying though in the case. she said she said to the sister, "What am I gonna do without him? Jay-Z's taking."
Mm-hmm. But
Like
then
I said,
I also feel like then that tells you where her mindset was. And I think the real question is her mindset like that because she's just been brainwashed by Diddy, or is her mindset like that because
Well, I mean,
she
if you look
always
at
wanted
Cassie,
to come up and
her
she
husband
received
is
to
the
come up, and
polar
then the come up
opposite.
became too much for her to maintain.
I mean, her husband now is the polar opposite of Diddy.
I'm gonna be honest
Cassie's
with you. I'm be honest. If you talk to people, if you give people $100 million lifestyle, and then they go to making 80,000 a year, they gonna be in some kind of struggle.
And $80,000 a year is generous, brother.
We up here. You know what I'm saying? We out here on yachts and shit. You know what I'm saying? That's why she got that 30 million. She might not run back now as much as she did before. I mean, she was taking videos for them to see so she can get some money. Now 30 million might ease for a little bit, but I'm just saying.
Her husband had to listen as in court as she admitted that she was getting her back blown out while she was on the phone with him at one point.
Yes, I'm just saying. And Diddy probably
think about that.
Like, I'll give you this money if you.
That nigga had to listen to. That nigga had to listen to his old lady say, "Yeah, I was on the phone with my now husband while Diddy was hitting it from behind." But at least you got $30 million.
I just want people to be a little bit more. I just want people to be responsible.
And we also have to remember, Cassie was extremely pregnant during this trial. Like she was ready to pop.
So I do want to be responsible and let people know, because sometimes it sounds like, hey, we just saying stuff, but sometimes you got to be responsible. Be like, listen, people do stay for a reason because you don't understand it, because you ain't. Some of you do understand.
You ain't never been through it. And I think a lot of people, and this doesn't just happen in this situation, in all things, it doesn't affect you, or you can't empathize with it because A, you haven't been through it, and it hasn't affected anyone close to you. We've had this conversation with COVID. We're not going to act like people weren't dying during COVID, but there were a large amount of people that were like, oh, no masks, no vaccinations. People aren't really dying. And then they would be changing their tune on the news. They would tell people on the news that now they look at it differently because their boyfriend almost died from it.
But I can count on two hands how many people I know for a fact died from COVID during COVID. Like literally, possibly dozens of people.
Right.
That
and
I
those
knew
are just
personally.
people that you know personally. You know what I mean? Like my oldest brother had a terrible
I'm just
job.
one person.
He has not been
I'm
the same
one person on a planet that's covered in billions of people, and we all dealt with this shit. COVID was everywhere. That shit was on every continent.
Right.
Like
that's why I wish that if people can't, if they haven't,
it was a dark. Hey,
or be around,
if it wasn't for COVID,
at least do your research.
We wouldn't be having this show though. So I do like to look on the bright side. We wouldn't be having this show. COVID's the reason niggas started podcasting.
I was technically.
I actually did.
Y'all, I know you were. I'm saying me.
I did it before. And then I got back.
I was doing reaction channels to interview with boxers, but I didn't do these type of shows though. Technically, so
yeah, not like streaming.
All my shit was
platforms and stuff. Nah, I wasn't doing.
Mine was Disney vlogs and interviews with boxing coaches and athletes and shit.
Mine were a podcast with a bunch of nerds and a nerd group.
I wasn't even a really social media nigga at that point, yo. But
I did a few.
I was literally just on Twitter, fucking talking shit to wrestlers.
Most of my shit was music related so from Overall 99. That's what it really started.
Talking shit to wrestlers. Yeah,
I was. That's what I was doing, yo. And then Joe told me Zelma wanted to start a wrestling show. Here we are, almost 5 years later.
I love watching rich, angry white men go at it with each other.
So we did put this in a title, so we got to do this.
Low key, no Diddy, me too.
Right, like I love to see it. When I tell you, there's nothing that brings me more like.
Note to self: if you want to get
people, when I watch rich people turn on each other, and then the fact that this happens to be fucking Elon Musk and Donald fucking Trump going at it with each other, turning on each other,
they're in a crazy ass.
I love this gay lovers quarrel that they're having right now.
Yeah.
The question is who's gonna win.
There's no way these niggas have.
And unfortunately, Trump has the power to deport. So
let's listen to him say the words himself. Dude.
I don't know. I think we'll have to take a look.
I don't know. It's
We might
crazy.
have to put Doge on Elon. You know what Doge is?
You know what
Doge is a
Doge
monster
is?
that might have to go back and eat Elon. Wouldn't that be terrible? He gets a lot of subsidies, Peter. But Elon's very upset that the EV mandate is going to be terminated. And you know what? When you look at it, not everybody wants an electric car. I don't want an electric car. I want to have maybe gasoline, maybe electric, maybe a hybrid, maybe someday a hydrogen. If you have a hydrogen car, it has one problem. It blows up, you know? So I'm going to give that one to Peter.
Y'all, why is this nigga making jokes?
He's like, well, you can't have a hydrogen car because it would blow up.
But yeah, they asked him basically.
Are you gonna deport Elon?
Yes.
That's literally verbatim what she said. Are you gonna deport?
Well, I don't
Elon?
think I don't think they asked if he was gonna deport him. He asked about his citizenship. Like, what are you gonna do?
Yeah.
With
No,
Elon?
wasn't that? Hold on. Wasn't no? Go back to the beginning. I'm pretty sure she asked, "Are you gonna deport Elon?"
Yeah, and the citizenship, if he loses citizenship, he's gonna get deported according to Trump news.
Yeah.
He done somehow made up. And apparently Trump trying to take away people's citizenships.
But I'm not in the business of feeling bad for rich people, brother.
So
I promise you, I don't give a fuck if I never see another. I'll be glad if I never see another big ass, ugly ass Tesla truck.
No, hold on. And
those things are so fucking ugly.
and they break apart. Y'all ain't gonna lie to me.
I've only seen one that I liked, and it was custom painted.
SpaceX, fucking listen. I'll be on X a lot, yo. If X wants to shoot me the goddamn.
I'm never on that anymore. I left that back in like 2015. I don't give a fuck about that.
Yo, I love it because it's the one place on the internet where niggas is really like okay with offending each other in the realest way possible.
No,
I saw a nigga tell a veteran the other day that he lost his legs for a fucking Hellcat. He was like, "Man, you lost your legs for a 2020 Hellcat." And I was like, "Damn, cold fucking game, brother." Then the veteran proceeded to call him a hard R. And then there was a corn box.
I've definitely shown my ass a time or two back in the day on Twitter.
Well, oh yeah, like I said, I'm a Twitter negro. I wish I still had my old Twitter, yo. I was blocked by way more celebrities on my old Twitter. But yo, Goldberg, unblock me, yo. I got shit to talk before you this travesty at fucking goddamn Saturday night's main event. Gunther finna carry this nigga.
But that's all I have.
All the celebrities that have me blocked, please unblock me. Shout out to Lil B for being the first celebrity to follow me. Shout out to the bass god.
Bass god?
Lil B. Yeah. Shout out to the bass god.
Right now, apparently Reggie has twerkers on his.
Yo, Reggie and DDG. You think them niggas gonna fight? You think Reggie and DDG gonna throw down, nigga?
That escalated a lot more. I like, oh, this.
Kai said he ain't in it. Kai said my name
is it was fake for content, and then DDG showed that man dead daddy, and I'm like, oh shit, I don't.
Yeah, look, like I said, them niggas got yo DDG and Reggie.
Yo, you show my dead daddy, and that would be the day that I am no longer a streamer. I am a YN. I am no longer a streamer. I am a YN. Fuck you.
Look. Tomorrow is my father's birthday. It's the first birthday since the nigga been dead. So I think that shit will hit harder. I'd be like, damn, I gotta shoot you, yo.
Right.
The wallpaper.
I gotta unalive you. You gotta be out of there. Man, you talk about my live daddy. You talk about my alive daddy, and I'm a YN.
He made his dead dad a wallpaper on his phone. I said, "Oh, this."
Oh no, he didn't.
Cold, yeah. But
I said, "This shit real." I said, "Okay, this not." I'm
glad Halo is with Hallie because that nigga is gonna die.
Yeah, because that's OD, brother.
That's OD. I'm so glad that baby is with his mama because that nigga gonna go. I would say he's gonna go missing, but it's not gonna go missing. He gonna they gonna off him like they did that couple.
Off that nigga on stream.
No, on stream they gonna off that nigga on stream if he ain't careful.
Listen, I know. Listen, even when he had the picture of Halo on the thing talking about how your baby gone, that's disrespectful. But when you do dead,
but nigga, talk about a nigga dead daddy.
Did he apologize for that? Which is why people say that's really one. But he's like, yeah, that was OD. That was too fun.
And Zell may understand as well. As my fellow brother in having a dead dad, that shit's crazy. If I think about it, if a nigga says some shit about your it's crash out.
I am gonna say this though, because you're talking about like they're going back and forth, and he brought up the kid, and then he brought up the dead daddy. I am a strong believer in this. Like I said, the nigga, I would be a YN if that was my situation. But I am gonna say this: when I get into arguments or fights with people, I do not fight fair. I do not play fair. And if you disrespect, listen. I am a strong believer that everybody has a certain level that like a certain something that they feel is enough to disrespect them, enough to crash out. It may be the fact that your father passed away. Me, it could be like, oh, you used to be 500 pounds, even though that's not true. Well, like something. Everybody's trigger is different. And so me, if you come for me with something that you think is gonna fuck with me personally, then I am going to do the same to you. I am. Now, if you try and shoot me because I talked about your dead daddy, I completely understand that because that is how I feel about it.
I make too many dead dad jokes to actually let it bother me, though. But like, I've crashed out.
I'm using an example. I'm saying that if that was how you felt, I can't even be mad because I already know that's how I would be. But when we're going back and forth, I don't give I master in disrespect.
Yeah, but listen, I'm the type of nigga. Look, my mother had cancer back in the day. She's been in remission for over 10 years now. Universe provides. But fucking, there was a nigga had the nerve to me, whatever. Nigga had I hope your mom dies. I was like, oh, well, you just, you cooked yourself. And then I proceeded, nigga, to get on public transport in the middle of the day and pull up on this nigga at his job and beat the fuck out of him. Because...
Listen, the first thing gonna happen to me, my cousin's calling like, "What we doing?"
In the middle of the fucking thing,
what we doing?
I'm telling you, I'm not.
What we doing?
If something involves my parents, I wish I'm gonna just say this.
I play about a lot of things.
I'm not even going to lie to y'all on the internet and say and a bunch of people about to go and fight. I'm about to go in the space.
You can say whatever you want on the internet. You can say whatever you want on the internet, but don't say anything if there's a chance that you're actually gonna have to see me.
Right.
Like that's what you don't do. Look, if you're Mr. Anonymous on the internet, say whatever you want. You've been saying whatever you want. Fucking, it's not that. I
would suggest you don't get too crazy talking to me on the internet because I do travel.
No, because don't be look. But if there's a chance you can run into me in real life, please don't do that because I'm 100% that nigga. Like I am the nigga that is going to fucking crash out and take the charge and still get bailed out in the end, yo. Fucking. I may be a scumbag, but I got a good parent. I almost said I got good parents. I got a good parent. Fucking.
Well.
So it is what it is. Niggas got to stop with that. Yo, look, I'm always going to be a firm believer. Leave the dead out of it, yo. Be as disrespectful as you want, yo. But you should probably, because once you bring the dead into it, you're bringing that kind of
karma. I don't like speaking on other people's death like that.
Yeah,
in a negative way. I believe that I am setting myself up to lose someone close to me because I'm talking
dead energy. You're bringing dead energy into the universe. You know what I mean? When you talk about the dead. And you know what comes from dead energy? Death. So I mean,
I did see some people argue that why you can't talk about the dead if you feel like listen. The reason I would tell you that the dead is I'm just gonna say
consequences.
Yeah, I'm just gonna say the dead can't defend themselves, so it's often.
Yeah, I'm a fan of not speaking on things like people that cannot defend themselves or that have no skin in the game. Like, I don't understand what. Like, why are you talking about my kid? What does that have to do with what we got going on right here? You know what I'm saying?
Well, I don't know. 'Cause if we're going low, kids are always going to be fucking.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, if we're going low, I'm gonna be as disrespectful as I can.
But at least the kids are alive.
Yeah.
Now you want to go really low? You talk
Like, if you talk about somebody
dead,
dead, I'm with you. I'm like, yo, whoop his ass. I'm gonna root for you open on it. I'm gonna be on screen when you whoop his ass and
if you got
support
a
you.
picture of my
I just
dead
think that you got to be
father as your wife,
a special type of person to even
I'm saying
bring up a dead child. Like, that's
No,
something that
if he kill
no
you,
matter how angry I am, would never pop up in my head.
I will support your GoFundMe if you shoot a nigga. Like, yo, get this nigga out of jail today.
I've crashed out on niggas for looking at me wrong. And I've got my ass whooped a couple times because of that very thing. Thinking I was gonna crash out on a nigga because he looked at me wrong. And then that nigga was like, hey, I can fight too. And I was like, damn, yeah, you got me. We're gonna have to run it back.
Yeah.
But I have taken more than my fair share of ass whooping. I've definitely I've won more than I've lost. But when I be losing hard. I've had some niggas kick the shit out of me, yo.
I've never lost a fight in any fight that. Oh, I just did the shit out of the inside of my lip. See, that's what be kicking my ass, me biting my fucking lip. Anyways, I haven't personally lost a fight. Now,
I've been
fights have been ended because like either security or whatever, or like we're at like neck and neck, like we both doing the same type of damage. But I've never sat there and been like, oh, I got my ass beat.
Oh, I've gotten mine.
But I am like you. I said that because of what you said. You were like, ah, damn, we got to run it back. Like that's how I am. Like I always say, if I do lose a fight, come on, we gonna run it again. And I probably will. And unless I just know the next time that I definitely can't beat your ass, I would probably try and fight you every time I see you. Just to get
look, there was one nigga, me and this nigga literally, we fought probably 7 times. And I swear, I won 4. I won 4 of those times, guaranteed.
Right.
But one time, that nigga, I'll never forget this shit. This nigga caught me at the mall and beat my ass, yo, because he snuck me in the fucking buckle, yo, and it was crazy. Cause fucking, I don't see how the nigga snuck up on me. I really don't. Like through the buckle, cause like they talk to you immediately as soon as you come in. They're on it. So like, how did I not notice? But that nigga caught me in the buckle and fucking whooped my ass through the mall and I ended up fucking. The only reason I got away on that shit, not worse, is because one of the homies was there and we ended up jumping that nigga after that. But he still won that fight. We had to look if the homie wouldn't have been there just by happenstance, and I was cooked. Because that nigga was kicking. That nigga was kicking but me and that nigga fought. Like I said, we fought like
I just wish that was still going. Like you're Peter and the chicken. Like on any given day, they can just see you niggas like fighting in the street.
I'm pretty sure that nigga's in prison right now. From being completely honest.
Well, I'm glad that did not continue. He may have shot you earlier.
Oh, nah, hell, I'd have blasted that nigga before he blasted me. Quit playing. But we literally, like, this shit started. We started beefing. It was like middle school when me and this nigga started fighting, and it was over some stupid shit. Like I think it was literally, and I'm not bullshitting. I think the shit was literally over whether Lil Wayne was the best rapper alive or not. Like literally, that's how we ended up in this fight in like the 7th grade. Fucking first fight on the bus. Then we fought like the next day at school. We both got suspended, expelled, had to go to alternative school. Then we both ended up getting in a fight at alternative school. Fucking got in a fight at the fucking local bus station. Then the fight in the mall. Like me and this nigga had a running. It was literally, if we saw each other, it was literally on sight. Like no words were spoken. No fucking nothing. Like if I see you, I'm swinging on you.
Yeah.
And it was literally like that for like the better part of a year, to where niggas just like, they knew. They were like, oh, Tori and that nigga in the same place, them niggas gonna fight.
Mm-hmm.
And look, low-key still to this day, if I saw the nigga out, I might swing. I might swing. But nowadays, niggas niggas don't fight like they used to. So like it can end up just being throwing lead at each other, and that's no fun.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, pray they don't have it. But I did want to show this to be fair to end the show.
I definitely 100% can be a man and say I got out of character. What I said about Reggie Pops was wrong. I'm not saying that because a nigga said anything on the internet. I'm not saying that because motherfuckers trying to chime in or whatever. I don't give a fuck if he dissed my brother that passed. I got out of my own character. That's something that I really don't do unless I'm really mad. But y'all know how I feel about what I'm going through right now. Nobody really knows what I go through mentally off camera or what I'm really dealing with. And when shit get piled up and you got little ass, ugly ass little studs. Now I'm apologizing for what I said. It's still fuck you though, by the way. Still fuck you. And I still want to box you. All right? When I see you, we're gonna have to have this conversation. I'm gonna see you at some point. But as a man, I'm man enough to sit here and apologize for dissing your pops. Losing a father is something that I haven't experienced in my life. So I can only imagine how that feels to you. And I can be a man and say, I was definitely wrong for that. When it comes to
So I did want to say fair play.
Low key, I respect that.
I'm saying that was fair play.
Yeah, I didn't hate that. No,
Because,
I can respect that. Like I fucked up. Like I shouldn't have gone that far, and I'm sorry for that. But like,
it's still
I still don't fuck with you, and I'm cool with that.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna see when I see
I can respect that. I'm not trying to sit here and be your best friend and shit. I just know I crossed the line.
Shoot the face, they'll probably be cool afterwards. I've got homeboys that I've had to this day because we ended up fighting first, and then we got cool after we ended up fighting. I got homeboys.
Or you fight during your friendship. Me and my best friend had a fucking fist fight in the street.
I got friends that I've been
where somebody had to pull me off her.
Unfortunately, most of my homies are dead, but like I got friends that are still alive. But fucking, we've had multiple fist fights, and we're always cool after. Fucking friends fight sometimes. I got a friend I almost shot in the face once on accident. Fucking, because I was playing with a gun, and it fucking it went off just as he fucking leaned back, and fucking. If he wouldn't have leaned back, I literally would probably be in prison because he would be dead because I would have shot him in
your ass after that.
No, we didn't even fight after that.
Oh no, I would have had to beat your ass.
No,
once it was over, we'd be friends. I would just have to be like, I had to do something because you really almost took me up out of here real quick.
But it was crazy because not too. But look,
stupid.
He understood because he had literally done the same thing not too long before that. He had been fucking with a gun. We were down in the basement, and fucking one of the homies was like, "Yo, that shit's loaded." And he was like, "No, it's not loaded," and pointed it at that nigga, and then pointed at the wall and pulled the trigger, and it went off. Fucking. So he understood. We unfortunately learned gun safety the hard way, folks, but nobody died, thankfully. So listen, kids, guns aren't tools.
Every time I talk to you, Tori, I'm just like baffled that I was ever able to meet you at the ripe old age of like 30. You know? Like how the fuck did you make it?
There was a long time there where
you have so many stories. Like where I'm just like, you should have died. I don't know how you're alive to have this conversation with me.
Look, there are many a times where I thought that I should definitely be dead. And many times, and most niggas I kick it with are dead, unfortunately. I don't have very many friends from like the olden days that I grew up with that are still alive. So I count myself as lucky.
Times that I feel like I should be dead, but like when I listen to some of the stories that you have, I'm like, mine are like different. You know, some of mine are like physical like that, but other things are like going to a random man's house to get tattooed or whatever. Where with my two girl cousins, where we could have like gotten sex trafficked or kidnapped or sexually assaulted, you know what I mean? Like shit like that. But you just be like, yeah. So there was this one time, a nigga almost shot me in the face. And but you know,
I
we
almost
kept it
shot a nigga
pushing.
in the face.
There was this one time I was tased and like in the throat, and I thought I was gonna die, but you know, I'm here. Like
Yeah.
One time I watched
like, one time I was skateboarding and I went off a cliff, but I'm still here.
Hey, one time I watched an albino guy get in an argument with his baby mama and then shoot himself in the hand.
In the hand?
Yes, he was arguing with his baby mama. I'll never forget this. We were in front of the local dry cleaner spot, just being hooligans on the fucking block, probably up to no good. And he was fucking arguing with his fucking his baby mama, and he was doing this shit, like fucking slamming the gun into his hand. And I'll never forget, he was like, "Bitch, you think I'm playing with you?" And he did that shit, and then the gun went off, and he just started fucking screaming, and we all just scattered because
it's still a gun.
I'll never forget this nigga laying on the ground in front of the fucking goddamn dry cleaner, just fucking blew a fucking hole in his hand. Fucking shout out to him though, yo. I think they're still together to this day, I'm pretty sure. But yeah. I got 1,001 stories of where I probably should have died and didn't. Whether it be running from the police or almost getting shot or being in random car wrecks or fucking narrowly dodging fucking being in random car. One time I avoided dying because I got too fucked up and ended up falling out asleep on a swing on the homie's back porch. So I didn't end up going to this party. And then when the niggas were coming back, they flipped the fucking car 6 times and fucking they all survived, thankfully. But the only reason, here's the thing, where I would have been
falling asleep.
Yeah, if I would have been there, the whole fucking passenger side where I would have been sitting was like completely crushed in.
Damn.
So like if I'd have been there, but yeah, them niggas all survived, thankfully. But that shit was fucking. There's many a times I've from being shot at to fucking just hell. We got shot at by a fucking old dude in the cornfield once because we were fucking. Because I don't know. I guess he thought that we were up to no good, or he thought that we were stealing something. But we were really just cutting through his cornfield to get back to the crib because we used to live in this fucking trailer park that fucking was right next to a fucking, like, it was out in the country. Well, not out in the country really, but like it's Indiana, so just portions of it are farmland.
Yeah,
that is what it is. But it's out next to the fucking license branch and just these cornfields. So we're cutting through there at night, fucking. And this drunk ass farmer comes out and he's like, "You motherfuckers, I'm done letting you take from me." And then he just starts dumping on us with his fucking shotgun, you know. And we're literally just running through a fucking cornfield praying that we don't get fucking shot by the drunk farmer that fucking decided to. Yeah. The fucked up part is we later used his cornfield to grow weed later on when we were older. And just hid in there, like we destroyed parts of his crops to plant our crops, and then fucking. But he never shot us though. Good times,
yeah.
Wow.
But this all goes back to teaching folks: being freaky is not the same as running a criminal organization.
It's not, because if that was the case,
I'd probably be in prison.
I don't know if you was freaky as him, but
no, I'm not that freaky. But like, I'm not out here licking seed off the things. That's not my bag, brother. But like,
you ain't licking the
if I get
your bag.
Look, all I'm gonna say though, look, I ever hit the lottery, I'm gonna invite y'all to the freak offs. Whether you come or not is up to you. But if you come,
already know. I already said on here I'm coming.
I was gonna say, but if you come, you will come.
I tell you, I am a sucker for merch and experiences. Mm-hmm.
You love to hear. Hey, me too.
Shout out to the
That's why I spent time on a Greyhound bus doing drugs across America.
The 99 shop .spreadshirt.
My spread shop.
Yeah, my spread.
It's the 99 shop.myspreadshop.com. So
yeah.
I've been plugging that shit in so many videos. I have to remember it now.
Casual Conversation merch is out now. I know I said July 4th, but it's close enough. Somewhere it's July 4th. And of course, I have to have a beautiful lady beside me. She stayed the whole show. The show will be on Facebook.
Shout out.
But
Sticking it out. She didn't make the 2-man power.
I'm trying to work on it, because I'll
Look,
talk
I
myself.
respect it.
I will talk myself into and out of anything with the quickness. Like I would have done all of this, got dressed, everything, and then be like, I'm not going to sleep. Luckily, I was dressed before I got home. So, but you already know I'm your girl, Ebony Moonbeam. You can find me at Ebony_Moonbeam on all social media platforms. I'm a cosplayer. I'm an anime shit talker. I'm a real life shit talker. I am 1/3 co-host of the beautiful Waifu Views podcast that gives you everything fandom with
The
the side of
Washington hiatus is over.
Yeah, it's over. It would have been over last week, but there was a crazy storm that came through and my power went out. And so then I tried to move it, and then I was like, okay, we'll do it Monday. And then, like I told you before the show, with having a new location or whatever, I ended up having to work late. So
you've been a busy lady.
I've been a busy bee, but we will have a show this Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern time, 5 p.m. Pacific time. You can find us on all social media platforms, but it will stream on YouTube and Facebook. And Anime for Dummies are coming. All of that stuff. I told you I needed to get my hair did. As you see, it's done. And I got an extra day this weekend, so I'm going to try my best to take advantage of it and be productive. So be on the lookout for that, please. And thank you. You already know you can find me on Saturdays at Make It Make Sense, the podcast, on their YouTube channel, as long as they're not talking sports, because it ain't been football season, and I don't give a fuck about basketball. So the NBA. So that's why I ain't been on it recently. But I'm sure we're going to talk about Diddy amongst other things. So you can find me on Saturday. So yeah.
And of course, we have the legend himself, the one, the only Afro coming 70. So how you doing today?
You already know. You can find me at AfroComedy765 on all platforms. You can catch me Tuesdays giving you the wonderful review of Raw that happened Monday. That's on Facebook and at the Blurred Cartel and on at blurred.com. Of course, Wednesdays, you can catch me Blurred Cartel's Roundtable, Top 10 Anything. We just did Top 10 Villains Who Could Beat the Case in honor of the Diddler. So go check that out. Then, of course, Thursdays, you can catch me here on Casual Conversations, having a casual conversations with the lovely Miss Moonbeam and Zell May. Then Fridays, you can catch me on Friday night. You're talking wrestling with El Blurred Americano and Jamel. Spider Cam is still going through sensitivity training. He will return at some point, but El Blurred Americano is doing a stand-up job taking his place for the time being. And then Saturdays, you can catch me on Make It Make Sense, the podcast. Probably making it not make sense. You guys know the vibe. Something flagrant, something inflammatory.
Mm-hmm.
And it is your boy. Oh, why do you want? There you go. It's your boy Zell May, looking cute, looking clean, looking sexy. You see it wherever you see the overall 99 over. Follow the cloud. Overall 99 Media Cloud. Take you wherever you need to go. Remember, again, the merch, all that Casual Conversation merch is out right now. A lot of stuff going on. I'll be that news. Was going to be out tomorrow, but it's July 4th. So I don't know when it probably back the next week will be a.
Yeah, I don't know about Friday night here tomorrow yet.
Yeah. I don't know. It's the holiday. People want to go bust names, so it might be Saturday.
It almost said, like you said, people want to go bust some ass, and I was like,
yeah, I mean,
it's a live. It's a call-in show. So I don't know if he do it. It wasn't
in honor of the Diddler.
Hotter than a busy hooker's pussy on the 4th of July. Let me tell you,
it's a call-in show, so of course, I didn't know if it was gonna be if people would call in because they're busy. Oh, look, it's Africa. But I do. I like this. I ain't gonna lie.
Wait a second, because I looked down and you threw that up in his face. Did you do it? I think you did, and he was okay. I looked down, and then when I looked up, and he was like, "Oh, look, it's ever coming." The way you looked so guilty. I was like, "This nigga forgot he was on live, or he did not give a fuck because he just did something he wasn't supposed to do." Don't look at that, y'all. Don't look at that. Do not cut that from the video before you send it to me. I love when people get to see Kami be Kami.
I ain't gonna lie, when I put this in here, it showed up randomly while you were talking, Moonbeam, and I got scared.
Oh, I saw it, and I was like, it went so quick. I was like, good, because I was about to be like,
I'm not gonna. No,
it's bad enough. It's not streaming to my platforms today. Don't play. Do not play.
I ain't gonna lie, it processed and immediately came up, and I said, "Oh shit! I didn't know you come up when I process you." I like how quick this. I like how interactive this is.
I like how quick it is too, compared to the other one.
Just throughout the show, y'all. But see y'all next week. I appreciate y'all for coming. Next week, let's try to have a crazy one. Hope you have a blessed week, good time, great time. You cycle.
Happy safe 4th of July, people.
We will come up with a name for y'all.
Designated drivers. Have your ID when you're out at the beach and shit,
Make sure you stay hydrated, okay?
Stay hydrated.
Drink fucking water.
Yeah,
it's fucking hot out there. And y'all know y'all gonna be drinking. So fucking drink some water. Your body will thank you.
All of that.
We're gonna come up with a name for y'all. We're gonna come up with a name for y'all. But when we figure out what to do, I appreciate y'all. Peace.
It's so late, Chili's on the fence. Talking circles and makes no sense. Afro Kami's out here on his grind. Neighborhood scumbag, but he's one of a kind. So casual conversation takes the day. With Salme Afro Kami, we laugh and play. Ebony Moonbeam strikes a pose so mean. Cosplay queen, she's ruling the scene. Salme shrugs, he's got no side. Just watching waves like a lazy tide. Afro Kami seems a low-key wild, but he's got charm, it's his freestyle. So casual conversation takes the day. With Salme Afro Kami, we laugh and play. Ebony Moonbeam strikes a pose so mean. Cosplay queen, she's ruling the scene. Ebony Moonbeam with a wig so bright. Wielding her magic, she's a star tonight. Salme just yawns, he's still unsure. Afro Kami laughs, he's got that allure. Oh, casual conversation takes the day. With Salme Afro Kami, we laugh and play. Ebony Moonbeam strikes a pose so mean. Cosplay queen, she's ruling the scene. Ebony Moonbeam with her wig so bright. Ebony Moonbeam with her wig so bright. Wielding her magic, she's a star tonight. Salme just yawns, he's still unsure. Afro Kami laughs, he's got that allure. Oh, casual conversation takes the day. With Salme Afro Kami, we laugh and play. As Ebony Moonbeam strikes the pose so mean. Cause the queen, she's ruling the scene. Conversation takes the day. With Salme Afro Kami, we laugh and play. As Ebony Moonbeam strikes the pose so mean. Cause the queen, she's ruling the scene. Ebony Moonbeam with her wig so bright. Her wig so bright. Wielding her magic, she's a star tonight. Salme just yawns, he's still unsure. Afro Kami laughs, he's got that allure.